Okay, this is Orlando Wilson. What I want to talk about in this video is something, I had a conversation with somebody about this last night, and it's something which is a little bit of a hot topic in the close protection, executive protection world, etc. And that's the standardization of training, nationally, whichever country you're in, and also internationally. And people are saying, well, there should be a standard because there are no standards at the moment, etc. Well, to me, there's always been standards, but they're not set standards. So my view, should the close protection business, executive protection business, be standardized internationally? Let me talk about the practicalities first. First of all, who's going to set the standards? In most places, if a license is being set, it's done by a government organization. In the US, each state has their individual licensing. In other countries, each country has their own standards. Some are high, well, none are high, some are okay, most are not. So who's gonna, if we're talking from a government perspective, a licensing perspective, who's gonna license this? It's ridiculous. People don't give a fuck about security guards, etc., etc., etc. It's the bottom of the barrel stuff. So politicians, diplomats are not going to be going out their way to try and standardize the security business internationally. So that would be down to, and people have said, well, we set up private organizations, etc., and which people are doing. There's how many associations out there saying certifications are recognized internationally, etc. The trouble is with private organizations certifying and saying they're regulating the close protection business, everything's going to be done to their standard. I don't belong to associations. I'm not big on associations because to me they're very, very cliquey. And if you're not in favor with the people at the top, then your stuff's just going to get dismissed, etc. So it's very much a cliquey thing. And again, what the trouble is with the close protection business, it's that diverse. Providing close protection services in United Kingdom or in Europe is going to be a lot different than providing close protection services in the United States. The laws are different. Laws on use of force are different. It's a very diverse business, so I don't see how you could have one type of training that covers everything for every location. Now, in the United Kingdom, they come out with their bullshit SIA close protection license because they wanted to up the standard of the business, etc., etc., standardize everything. Did that work? No. I think what the SIA license done is take an exclusive business, which is the close protection business, and make it mainstream. Whereas the close protection business UK used to be very, very cliquey, very, very small. It's now opened up to everybody. So instead of upping the standards, to me, they've completely destroyed the standard of close protection personnel coming out of the UK. I don't recognize SIA licenses. I know people say, well, you have to recognize. I don't have to recognize anything. I don't work in UK. It's a license. It's a minimal standard license. This is the other problem with these courses. You cannot make them too hard because if people don't pass, nobody's going to do the courses. If the standards are high, nobody's going to do the course. Everybody wants, especially in the security business, everybody wants the easiest, well, the vast majority of people want the easiest route possible to get a license to make money. That's it. I had people in the US contact me all the time about what they required to work in a close protection business. In the state of Florida, in theory, you need a D and a G license and work for a B agency, a security agency, or have a private investigator's license, etc. Most people will go and do the minimal needed to work. They're not interested in actually knowing what they're doing. I know how many private investigators in US, well in Florida, C-licensed private investigators or CC licensed private investigators have no fucking clue what they're doing. Your interns just been sent out on a job. They got a gun. Yeah, go follow this person around. That's it. And they're classed as being qualified. I'll give you a story. I had one guy in US. He done a course with me, and this is people's mentalities. Good guy, but he done a course with a CP course with me in the US, 8-day course or something. Good guy. He done little bits of unarmed work with me afterwards, but I would not trust him with a firearm. Anyway, he done the unarmed course. He done okay. He's a good guy, but I said to him, we're not certifying you for firearms, period. Why? Because he couldn't use a gun. He wasn't safe. Even though he was a licensed Florida DG, which is armed security licensed, armed security licenses in the state of Florida, working as an armed guard for good companies, I wouldn't trust him with a firearm. He was okay passing his firearms qualifications, stood in a booth, shooting a target under supervision. You took away that supervision. He was a nightmare. Muzzle discipline didn't exist. Trigger discipline didn't exist. Put it this way, he was an Italian guy that's Italian kid that's better off with a baseball bat than a firearm. And I said to him, okay, I'll certify you here, but I'm not giving you anything to do with firearms. But next time I'm running courses, next time on the range, I'll let you know. Come join us. You're more than welcome to join the courses. I'm not charging you. Pay your range fee and ammunition, and we'll get you up to speed. When you're up to speed, I'll certify you. No worries. Once you're up to standard. You know what? I saw him a while after. I met him with some of his friends, and they said to me, they knew a little bit about me, so they knew my mentality. And they said to me, is he showing you what he's got? I thought, what the fuck's he got? And in the end, he showed me. He went out and bought a gold-plated badge, like a cop badge, that had executive protection specialist or some bullshit on it. A shield, so he had the gold-plated shield and everything else. And I said to him, what the fuck, again, to me, I got a video up about that. It's stupid, right? That kid went out, and I pulled him for this. He went out and spent that money on a gold shield. But he never turned up at the range to train with me for nothing. Why? Because in his mind, he got a certificate to say he's close protection trained. What else does he need? He's qualified. Good guy, but... And that's the mentalities of most people. If you bring in for most people, this is the standard. People are only going to do that minimal standard. And then they got a piece of paper to say they're qualified. I tell people, the close protection business, for me, and I'm still learning, is a non-stop learning experience. And for me, if you don't have the mentality that it is that you're constantly learning, that you're constantly developing, then you shouldn't be in the business. If you're people working with me, they need to have that mentality. That tends to be the mentality of the people I associate with. If not, I've got no interest. So, to me, the international standardization would be difficult to enforce. The private organizations, the private companies, associations, is BS. They're just there to market their own courses, make money off membership fees, etc. And if you bring in a standard, a minimal standard, that's going to kill the upper echelons of the business, because everybody's just going to be working towards that minimum standard. And this is what happened in UK. You can have somebody with 20 years experience. You can have some kid that's just been given a CP course by the government to get them off the unemployment line. And they both passed the course. They both have the same license. So, to the unscrupulous company that's supplying people with CP guys and girls, they'll just tell the client, yeah, we got licensed, trained personnel. The fact is, the standard of the license is complete BS. And a lot of these companies would sooner use people fresh off their courses with the license than somebody with experience, because the people that are fresh off their courses are a lot cheaper, where the people with the experience want more money. But all the client knows is they're getting somebody turn up that's licensed, trained, professionally licensed. So they can't tell the difference. The box is ticked. So, just my perspective on international standardization within the close protection business, which to me is, I'm sure you gauged, complete and utter bullshit. So in the meantime, follow me along on social media.